Rwanda, now boasting a viable bond market, has undergone dramatic changes over the last 20 years. Here to tell us how the country envisions its future, Ambassador Yamina Karitanyi and High Commissioner Nkurunziza Williams. Now, you are both here to promote business tourism in your country in light of the civil war. Tell me, how do you plan on going about shoring up this interest?
Over the last 20 years, Rwanda has undergone, tremendous transformation. Some people regarded Rwanda in 1994 as a basket case. We have seen phenomenal transformation in our country. At different levels, you see a lot of goodwill from the international community, whether it is from the donor community that have been partners with Rwanda in its development over the last 2 decades, whether it is private investment that have flown into the country. You must have followed the reports, for example, last year, of the Eurobond that was issued in this city. Rwanda raised $400 million for investments in infrastructure, but there are also great investment flows from the private sector, from UK, from Germany, from the US, from Canada, from Australia, from China, from India, from around the world.
Hi, Commissioner, can you tell me exactly how the bond market has been able to open up the country in terms of access to foreign development funds and just building local infrastructure? What does it mean?
The bond market allowed Rwanda to mobilize external debt to invest in infrastructure. And that is basically moving away from the traditional sources of funding for government projects, which is either tax revenues or donor funding. The country is in a robust growth path, and that requires significant revenues or significant sources of investments that cannot be raised from the traditional sources. And so the government went into the market to raise private capital. And because the investment community has seen what has happened in Rwanda over the last 15 years, has seen a consistent pattern of strong growth as well as very strong macroeconomic management, the investment community found the Rwandan proposition very attractive. And the bond was oversubscribed 8.5 times. There was $3.5 billion available for Rwanda to take if it wanted. As the government has said, we believe that in future we'll be coming back to the market to raise additional capital.
Can you tell me about some of those sectors that are looking to really grow?
The Rwandan economy is a virgin economy. Literally every sector has opportunities for growth. But over the last decade, we have seen significant growth, particularly in the services sector, particularly in construction, in real estate, in financial services, in telecoms, as well as growth, particularly within the space of agricultural transformation. There are specific sectors where we are looking for investment, particularly the energy sector. Between now and 2018, the government wants private investments into the generation of about 500 megawatts. That is an opportunity that people can pick. And there are several other opportunities for investment that private capital can go into in Rwanda. Perhaps I'll let Yamina attach some of the areas that are attractive for investments in the country.
Fair enough. Ambassador Yamina, I know you have been traveling the world promoting bilateral ties, regional economic partnership. Can you give me a little bit of intimate insight into some of the conversations that you've been having?
To add on what the High Commissioner has said, tourism also has seen great growth, but also is an area where we see potential investment. We've seen global brands establishing themselves in Rwanda. Rwanda, along with our partners Kenya and Uganda, have actually established one single market. Both Uganda and ourselves being landlocked, we need basically the infrastructure in place to achieve the growth results that we are looking at.
So can you tell me what the timeline is on the railway that you're developing and some of the other infrastructure projects that are going ahead right now?
Well, there's true excitement. At least the political will is very much there. The feasibility studies have started. I think we're looking at 2018 for the railway. Major undertakings, you can appreciate the financial implications, but the feasibility studies are ongoing and the timeline is just a few years down the line.
Who's funding this development? Is it private-public partnerships, wholly government-based?
Definitely private-public because of the size of the project, and intergovernmental. We're looking at the multiple funders, our regular partners and developing partners. The Africa Development Bank is very much interested, and as well as the World Bank and other funders.
Has the diversification of the investment realm helped to increase these development projects?
All our economies in East Africa have been growing exponentially. The sustainability of this growth is going to be a factor of deepening the scope of our economies and open opportunities both in banking, in telecoms, and in infrastructure. As you open these sectors, greater private capital comes in because you're creating opportunities for private capital and private enterprise. And we think that this is going to continue.